Welcome, everyone. Thank you for spending a few moments with us. I am here with Maxwell Staley, who is our Pastoral Assistant for these few months as we do our search for an associate pastor. Maxwell has been here and has been doing some great work at Covenant. And I just wanted to sit and talk with Maxwell for a minute, and I always want to catch up, of course, but I thought you might like to catch up with our Covenant folks. And so I just wanted to ask, what have you been up to here at Covenant? What would you like to share with everyone?
Well, since I've started in November, I've had the opportunity to meet with several members of the congregation who don't always have the opportunity to get to services or to be as involved in the fellowship of the church as they would like to be. And that's been lovely, right?
Yeah.
I'm able to keep people connected to the happenings at Covenant. Even if it's just dropping off last week's bulletin or, a list of the upcoming events, a little bit of what's happening behind the scenes. People love to be involved, and, it's just, it's a nice reminder that everyone's still thinking about one another and holding on to one another.
Yeah, and we found that, I think, to be really important, particularly post-COVID. That connection is so important. And so, who do you visit? What brings you to be with someone?
So usually if someone takes a spill and is in the hospital for any kind of reason, I would stop by there or give them a call, send them some well wishes. Folks who are unable to drive anymore or don't quite have the mobility that they've had. Any kind of big life event, I would be a person that you could call just to do a ministry of presence, right? And walk along with anyone who needs that extra buddy.
Yeah. So I wondered, too, just to ask you, there's a lot else going on in your life. You're in seminary. You're actually getting close to graduation, right?
Yeah.
And you're doing, I think, just about a million other things.
Roughly.
Yeah. So how's seminary going, and how are your other things going?
Okay. Well, seminary is great. Seminary, so I'm finishing my fourth year in a Master of Divinity program at Lancaster Theological Seminary. And the past 4 years there have been, I'm going to say the best 4 years of my life, despite the mountain of chaos that it has been. It has been an opportunity for me to integrate my own identity with my identity in God, and I think that's something that I didn't know I was really wanting or searching for until I said, oh, yeah, no, this is it. This is what I'm searching for.
Right.
And it has afforded me the opportunity to build relationships that I otherwise wouldn't have even thought about building. It gives me the opportunity to just sit in the joy of building relationships and being with other people in a deep way, right, that goes beyond just... and I'm hesitant to say just, but it goes beyond that human interaction, right? There's something a little bit deeper there. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure we've all felt that more than once.
Yeah.
I am, so as I'm approaching the end of that program, I am seeking ordination in the United Church of Christ.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is very exciting, and so I'm working with my committee on ministry in the Philadelphia Association to stay on track there. That means I need to maintain membership in my church in the Philadelphia Association, which is Old First Reformed United Church of Christ. It's a very active church in their neighborhood and in the association, a wonderful congregation. I live in Lancaster, so... It's a hike. I do try and get there at least once a month, though, to maintain a connection there with that congregation. And my partner is an apostolate in the Episcopal Church.
That's a very big word.
Yeah.
They have a lot of big words over in the Episcopal Church. It's one thing I love about them.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It keeps things very interesting. But for those of you who don't know what that means... my partner is seeking ordination in the Episcopal Church, right? Entering the priesthood. And pretty tied in the process, right? So it'll be a very exciting time once we're both ready to be ordained. But that means that we need to be connected to her church in Harrisburg. So about once a month or so, we're doing something with St. Stephen's Cathedral in Harrisburg, which is a lovely congregation. If anybody is in Harrisburg, stop by. Very welcoming. I'm also part of a church plant in Pottstown. The United Church of Christ is starting a new church. It's called Open Table in Pottstown. It is very non-traditional. It is, we're not actually in a church space. We hold our Sunday services in a local community theater on the main street. That's open to the public. It's constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. We have physical elements of embodied worship. And we actually don't even follow the Revised Common Lectionary. We follow a different lectionary called the Narrative Lectionary.
Yeah. We've actually done pieces of that at Covenant from time to time, whether anybody knows that or not.
Yeah, it's
a little behind the scenes there.
Yeah, I think it's kind of neat, but it's very, at the end of the day, it's very Jesus centered, and they're just trying to really integrate the community into a community.
Yeah,
right?
pull everybody together.
Community. Yeah. Because if you know anything about Pottstown, which I just recently learned, there's about 80 different churches in the city itself. So it seems kind of like a kooky idea to start a new church there. But if you look at the numbers and do some data research, not anybody in Pottstown goes to church.
Right. So there's sort of like, whether you call it a mission field or whether you call it an opportunity to share the love of Jesus, there's that opportunity there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that keeps me busy as well.
Yeah, clearly. That's a lot of involvement. One of the things that we're going to be excited to share with everybody is we're giving Maxwell a little opportunity to share some reflections on Scripture throughout the week. So look for that. I think we're going to put it in the Wednesday emails, probably where it's going to go. So I'm excited about that. But as we wrap up here today, any words of encouragement or advice for those others in our church who are caregivers, who are doing visitation, or simply caring for their own loved ones?
Yeah. So I am not only a resource for people who don't have the opportunity to come to church as frequently as they would like to. I'm not just a resource for folks who have had a catastrophic life event. I am a resource for anybody who is seeking the love of Christ, wants to sit and chat, wants to engage academically, or however. I'm an open book, and I love to sit and chat and even just sit and be silent if that's something that you're looking for as well. As far as writing a little blurb, doing some scripture reflections, I think being from the UCC, relationships are super important to me, and I think that's often how I build my sermons and my own preaching practice, is through conversations with people. So if you have a particular scripture verse that you enjoy, or you would like to chat with, or if I write something that's inspiring to you, please feel free to reach out to me via email, or probably via email would be the best bet.
Yeah, or you can leave a message at the main church line, actually. But you're mstaley@covenantfraser.org.
Yeah.
So it's MSTALEY.
Correct. Yep.
Right. Well, thanks for coming over, spending some time, and I know you have more visits to do. So I appreciate that, and thank you all for taking some time to get to know Maxwell a little better and just be in conversation with us. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.